Welcome to Issues. We are so very happy to have you with us this evening. I'm your host, Richard Smith. And as you know, Issues is a program that deals with the community and people in the community. This evening, we're going to look at education, higher education for our Bermuda students. We have a gentleman with us who is visiting from one of our universities, and we're going to have him introduce himself to us.
My name is Jorge Bartholomew. I'm the enrollment specialist and also the international students advisor at Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama.
Is this the first time you've been to Bermuda?
No, this is about my third or fourth visit to the island.
Oh. And generally, what brings you to Bermuda?
I have the privilege to be in the island recruiting. I'm looking for Bermudian students to expose them to Oakwood University or to introduce them to Oakwood University and invite them to come to our campus.
Presently, are there students from Bermuda at Oakwood University?
We average about 15 to 20 students per year.
Wow.
At the university from Bermuda.
Oh, very, very good. Now, let's first talk about the physical appearance of the university, because generally when someone goes on the campus, the first thing they're going to see is how it looks. If it doesn't look good, maybe no matter how good the academic program is, they say, this doesn't look good, I don't want to be here. So how would you describe the physical appearance of Oakwood University? Is it in a large metropolitan area? Describe it to us,
It's
please.
a beautiful campus located on 1,200 acres.
Wow.
We use about 500 of those acres. Due to the city growth, a new road has been built, so the campus is now exposed. If anyone wants to see pictures of the campus, they can go to www.oakwood.edu. U.S. News and World Report consider Oakwood University one of the best universities in the South. Wow. Among historical black colleges and universities. It is a beautiful campus, very well manicured. We have received the city's or the mayor's award for an immaculate campus.
Wow, very good. Now, let's start to take a look at the academic offerings. And what is probably the most, the major that you'd find most students in? What would that be?
We will find them either in our business department or our biology department, the sciences. Mm-hmm. Those two departments are our largest in student population.
Would you have any idea how your students have done, your pre-med students, how they have done after they've left Oakwood?
Right now, Oakwood University, among historical black colleges and universities, is considered to be the #1 institution in providing minority students to medical school.
Say that again.
Oakwood University is considered to be the #1 historical black college university in providing the largest number of minority students to medical school. They can find that information in the Ebony magazine of September 2012. They can find that information in the Journal of Blacks in Higher Education.
So it seems to me that if young people are looking now, or parents are watching, and they want to go into medicine, that Oakwood University is the place that they should go because of the academic background and the strength of the academic program and the sciences.
Yes. We begin preparing our students, especially those who are interested in medical school, at the end of the freshman year.
Wow.
So by the time they become seniors, they have not only surpassed the MCAT, but they are prepared and ready to move into the medical field.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, just today, a parent whose child graduated in the dentistry program told me that when she went to dental school, she was ahead of her class and will not trade that experience at Oakwood University with any other school.
Wow, that is excellent.
That came from a parent right here in Bermuda.
Oh man, that says a lot about the quality of your program. Now talk to us a little bit about the business offering.
In our business department, it is grown. Right now, we have a program where students get to compete. They get to put the experience to work. It is not just academic. It's academic social, and also business oriented, where students get hands-on experience in whatever field of study they're trying to pursue.
Wow, that is excellent. Now, that's very, very good. In the area, well, let's back up a little bit. What would be the academic requirements for, if a parent is looking, how academically prepared does one have to be accepted at Oakwood University?
When it comes to preparation, we look at the areas of a student's GPA, and we look to see how well they perform on the ACT or SAT test scores. Those two items are used to determine scholarships and also whether they're going to need to take remedial courses. Most of us Bermudian students have surpassed both in academics and the test scores.
Wow.
So they all have been able to qualify for scholarships.
So Bermudian students can get scholarships in the United States at Oakwood University.
Yeah. Our academic scholarship program is available to all students, no matter from what part of the globe they come from. As long as they meet our criteria for the scholarship, they will receive it. And the scholarships are offered for 4 years.
Well, so what would be some of those standards that one would need to meet to qualify for an academic scholarship?
With the ACT, the minimum score is a 16. With the SAT, it's 1040.
Okay.
Take that back, it's 840.
840.
With the SAT.
Very good.
Now, if a student keeps performing and taking the exam, as the scores goes up, so does the scholarship, provided the score and the scholarship go together.
Very good. Now, in terms of getting from Bermuda to Huntsville, is it 2 flights that, or can you get there with just 1 flight?
There are no direct flights from Bermuda to Huntsville. The average is 2 flights. Most students fly in from Bermuda to Atlanta and from Atlanta to Huntsville.
Okay. Could one drive from Atlanta to Huntsville? What is
it's about a 4-hour drive.
From Atlanta to Huntsville?
From Atlanta to Huntsville, it's about a 4-hour drive, yes.
Okay. Now, let's look at the area of sports. Are there any offering in terms of sports there at Oakwood University?
Bermudians will be glad to know that we do have a soccer team in the professional arena that is both for the males and the females. I know basketball is also there, but I know the Bermudians, as I watch students here in Bermuda, I know soccer will be a favorite thing for them. And we do have both males and female soccer teams at the university.
Wow. And I believe you're part of the NCAA?
Yes, we are.
In both soccer and basketball?
Both soccer and basketball, yes. In our basketball team, we are members of the USCAA Division I. We have taken the championships on several occasions.
Oh my goodness, very good.
Yes, last year we came in 2nd place, so we're hoping to take 1st place this year.
Whoa, very, very good. Now, in terms of the enrollment, how large is the enrollment at Oakwood University?
Currently, Oakwood has 2,019 students. Wow. When we started back in 1896, it was just 18 students. So that's a growth that we have enjoyed. But this semester, this school year, we have 2,019.
If you could pick a highlight, by the way, who was the graduation speaker a year ago?
Oh, that was an illustrious Bermudian student.
Yes.
Mr. Keynes.
Yes. Which one of the Keynes?
Good question.
Wayne.
Wayne, that's right. Wayne
Yes.
Keynes, yes.
The CEO of Digicel.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did an excellent job.
Yeah.
We were very impressed with his speech. And people admired the opportunity that we did bring a Bermudian and a fellow graduate of the university to be the guest speaker.
Very good. Now, what type of social activity or social life can one find at Oakwood University?
Oh, there's so many social activities. There's skating right on our campus. There are activities through through the academic departments, actually the student activity department, where students can have a social life. There are banquets that are held, several of them are student run. They are choirs. As a matter of fact, again, another Bermudian started a choir at Oakwood University when he came, and that's Owen Simons. His choir still exists.
Wow.
He is no longer directing the choir, but someone has picked up the baton and still is carrying that choir through. Next year, they will be celebrating the 25th year anniversary since he started.
In our last few minutes, if there was one particular thing as the recruiter that you would want our audience to know about Oakwood University, what would that be?
I will say the friendship, the global friendship that students that attend Oakwood University develop. It is not just an education that they develop at Oakwood, but that global friendship. They can go anywhere around the world and find someone that attended Oakwood University.
Okay. Mentioning that global friendship, you have students from how many different countries?
Right now, 41.
41.
This year we have our first student from South Korea. Last year we graduated our first students from Indonesia.
Wow. Are there opportunities at Oakwood University for student involvement outside of the United States? Some sort of missionary or student teaching or some kind of mission work outside of the United States?
Right now there's a group that is going to Madagascar, and there's another group that is going to another country in Korea. We also have a study abroad program where our students get to either go to Spain or Argentina or France. So there are several programs available for students to study abroad.
That interests me. Do you know how one could get involved or qualify to be in that program?
The study abroad?
Yes.
Usually the students that are studying foreign languages, they are required to go overseas, either spend one semester or 1 year to enhance that which they have learned at Oakwood.
Okay. Your tuition, we have about a minute left. Your tuition.
We average about $11,000 per semester, so that's about $22,000 a year. That does not include, of course, scholarship that students will receive.
$22,000 a year.
That's correct.
Okay.
But our highest scholarship is $10,000 a year.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So that can reduce that bill significantly. Yes. Dormitory. How many dormitories do you have there?
We have 4 dormitories.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one is being closed right now so that it can be renovated. It's going to be brought up to a hotel style that the students are going to enjoy. They are not going to regret it.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome,
We've
Richard.
had Jorge Bartholomew with us, the recruiter from Oakwood University, and we've heard so many positive things about the university. We've heard about their enrollment, their studying abroad, where someone from Oakwood can actually go to a foreign country and study there for a semester or a year. We've heard about their health program. We've heard about their science and their business program. And just one more, that statistic or that information you gave us about black colleges and folks who are pre-med, what did you tell us about that, again, in terms of Oakwood being number one in that?
We are the number one historical black college university in providing the largest number of students going to medical school.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We will be right back. Welcome back. We had a very interesting time, an informative time, talking with George from Oakwood University. I do hope that parents, as you watch, you will at least take a look, investigate Oakwood University and see if that is for your son or daughter. However, now we have a very special guest who is from the New England Organ Bank in Boston. We have Dave with us. Dave, would you tell us your last name and then tell us something about the New England Organ Bank?
Hi, my name's Dave Teune. I'm one of the donation coordinators with the New England Organ Bank. New England Organ Bank has actually been around since 1968. We service, we have about 11 hospitals at our transplant centers, but within those hospitals there's 30 separate transplant programs. And Bermuda is a part of that. And we've been we've in many ways serviced the transplant needs of the Bermudian community for all that period of time as well.
Have there been any Bermudians that have actually gotten transplants through the New England?
Well, as a matter of fact, there are 35 people from Bermuda that are waiting kidney transplant. And if you're a Bermudian citizen, you will be listed at Brigham and Women's in Boston. And that's where people of the citizens of Bermuda go. Now, there's over 130 people from Bermuda that are currently on dialysis who would potentially be candidates for transplant at some time.
So how, here I am living in Bermuda, if I wanted to become an organ donor, and you're all the way in Boston, how does that happen?
Well, first of all, you have to make your wishes known to your family. If anything were to happen, and for instance, driving around on a scooter, I rented one while I was here. Let me tell you,
yes.
right? Okay, so I dare say, if something were to happen and you were to meet brain death criteria, so therefore, there's all hope has been lost at that point. Your neurologic function is non-existent. Then, in those circumstances, the hospital would contact the New England Organ Bank. And at that point, we would get involved.
Oh, okay. So the hospital then is the link between the family and the organ donation. The hospital is the one that would contact you.
Right, absolutely. And I think one of the most common myths where people are maybe nervous to put organ donation on their driver's license is that they feel like maybe care won't be rendered if they put it on their license. Well, the hospital, they don't call us until all treatment options have been exhausted. And once they've established that this patient does meet brain death criteria, only then do they give us a call. So there really is very much a separation between the care that's rendered in hopes of someone becoming a survivor, and then at that point realizing that sadly they can't save that individual.
Okay. You mentioned putting it on the license. By the way, I did call TCD, and they actually told me you can go to etcd.bm and click on application for driver's license, and there is actually a form there, and one of the questions says organ donor, yes, no. And I believe our viewers are seeing that form right now. Again, if you wish to become an organ donor and put it on your license, you can go to ETCD and download the form that says application for driver's license or learner's permit and click organ donor, yes. Okay. Now, Dave, you mentioned that some of the concerns people may have is my loved one really dead before they call you? Is there such a need for organ donation that can I trust the hospital to be sure that the person is dead before they call you?
Well, I think that the community trusts the hospital in all other manners of care, and that would extend into this neurologic exam. And when we talk about brain death, we're not talking about coma. There's a difference. There cannot be any neurologic response, and that has to be observed over a period of time. So it is a very serious diagnosis, one that is not taken lightly, and it's very cut and dry. And if there's any neurologic activity, even the slightest neurologic response, then that person's not brain dead.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a clear-cut diagnosis, and we're not informed of this case until it would be appropriate, and that would be if someone were to meet brain death criteria.
Okay. Now, does the family have to pay, or is there money remuneration coming to the family? What type of finances would be involved?
Well, there's no buying or selling of organs in the United States or Bermuda or the UK for that matter. So that's absolutely forbidden. Now, but all costs associated with donation are taken on by the New England Organ Bank. So everything that's been done for the purpose of organ donation, it's appropriate and correct that the family shouldn't pay for that. And we're federally funded by actually the U.S. government, and we're non-for-profit. So we're a non-for-profit organization. We're federally funded. Our books are open to the public in many ways. So we really operate in the public trust. And as a, we do a lot of things to make certain that people realize that we're very transparent in all that we do.
Now, are there any particular, and I know you're not a physician, but are there any health problems that would eliminate someone from being able to donate their organs?
Well, we actually go on a case-by-case basis, so we encourage everyone not to eliminate themselves, and let us figure that out if it's ever appropriate. So don't sort of self-select in that regard. People are often surprised. I was once told by a hepatologist that if we were constructed of liver cells, just liver cells, we could be 250 years of age. It's one of the most regenerative organs. So once again, sometimes as we get older, of course, things age, and I can attest to that. You know what I mean? The reality is, we would look on a case-by-case basis and see what we could recover. So, if I want to encourage the listening public, don't self-select, and just put it on your driver's license. And
now, when the hospital informs you or the organ bank in Boston, what is it? You guys hop on a plane and come down here?
Well, yeah, it's sort of like that. Often there's a conversation that happens with the family. We want to make certain that they're interested in it before we do that. But yes, it isn't. The logistics behind it are complicated, but nothing that we can't work around. So yes, we'll get on a plane and we'll come out and be a part of that process.
Now, there are some people that may be thinking, if my loved one who's deceased, if they donate the organ, they may not be able to still be in a casket. Is there any truth to that?
Normal viewing can take place, and if someone were to have had open heart surgery, that's probably a similar type incision, and a normal closure does occur. And we do that in every circumstance. Even if someone was going to be cremated and no one was to see the body, we do it because it's the respectful thing to do and it's the correct thing to do. So once again, normal viewing could take place. And if you really wanted, you often wouldn't even know that someone was an organ donor unless the family members, disclose that to the public.
Right. Now, are there some religions that would object to organ donation?
No, every major religion is supportive of organ donation or says that it's a personal decision. So there's no major religion that would be having a position in opposition to organ donation.
There are some individuals that might think, those individuals who are on the list waiting for an organ, sometimes individuals may think they're rich and famous people, they get to the top of the list. Is there any truth to this?
No, there really isn't. But, rich and famous people, or let's just say famous people, are newsworthy. And we hear about transplants from rich people, or not, excuse me, from famous people because they're newsworthy. But yet your neighbor or your family member is important to you. It isn't necessarily newsworthy. So people often aren't aware that their neighbor is getting a transplant or someone in the neighborhood is getting a transplant. So therefore, everyone sort of feels like, well, maybe those are the only people that get it because those are the only people I hear about getting it. But once you're on the list, there's no preference given to economic or social standing at all.
Now, how does one get on the list? Someone from Bermuda, how would they actually get on the list?
They would be evaluated, well, first of all, the physician would make the recommendation, probably through the dialysis center, and then they would be evaluated at the Brigham to see if they'd be a suitable candidate, to make certain that they don't have any medical issues that would prevent them from receiving a transplant. That is sort of a multidisciplinary approach that they take, and so they would be worked up at the Brigham, and then at that point they would be put on the transplant waiting list.
Now, how does one move up the list? I don't know if there's such a thing, but how do you?
Well, it's a function of medical urgency and time, especially for kidney transplant. In liver transplant, there's this thing called MELD score, the model of end-stage liver disease. And what your MELD score is really dictates your position on the list at any one given day. So if your MELD score is higher or lower, that's sort of your position on the liver list.
Okay. So if I'm understanding, it's maybe matching the donor with the recipient as compared to someone being number 1 or number 2 or number 3?
Well, yeah, so we look at blood type and height and weight. Those are sort of some of the screening things that we look at. But moreover, someone's position on the list in terms of ability to receive an organ is really based on either medical urgency, and sometimes there's a wait time component to it as well.
Okay. Now, this trip for you to Bermuda, what did that entail? What was your purpose in coming to Bermuda this time?
Well, it was, in essence, to work with the hospital staff and social workers. We find them, they're very valuable. And, and we like social workers. He's very valuable. All right, so let's get that out there again. He's very valuable. And we just feel like they're so critical to the process that we always want to have those that are working with us to be as educated about the process as possible. And so that's really been our primary focus.
Okay. And we really did enjoy the workshop that you gave us. And we thank you for taking this opportunity to come and inform the Bermudian public in terms of the New England Organ Bank. Just want to share some things that, some facts that we got from WebMD. It says, at this moment, more than 105,000 people in the U.S. are waiting for an organ. 4,000 more people are added to the national waiting list each day. Is this something that you've actually seen, Dave, the list?
Well, absolutely. Geez, when I started working in transplant, the list was like 50,000. And actually, the most up-to-date numbers, 116,000.
Wow.
People. And you know, at WebMD, that was only maybe a month ago in terms of its update. So people are being added to the list, and you know, as we said, about 16 to 18 people die every day awaiting a transplant. Wow. So it's a real, you know, health crisis in many ways. Yeah. And you know, we feel like the people of Bermuda really have a sense of community. Yes. And I think that often, you know, families do say yes to organ donation because they realize that they want to help their neighbor.
That's true. That's true. Here's another one. Each of these people, the 105,000, each of these people is in a desperate need of a kidney, liver, heart, or other organ. More than 6,500 people a year, about 18 a day, die before that organ ever becomes available. Now, organ donors are always in short supply. There are far more people in need of a transplant than there are people willing to donate an organ. So we're finding this to be very true. So again, I'm hoping that you coming to Bermuda and you taking time to be an Issues will motivate people to go down to TCD, fill out the driver's application form, and tick organ donors. Now, I am not one, but this coming week, I will fill out this form and I will become an organ donor, all because of your visit to Bermuda.
Oh, thank you very much. I wouldn't come on the show unless you did it. No, I'm just kidding.
Again, thank you so much. We thank Dave for being with us. Don't remember our Father's Day program and the Father's Day survey. Please go to Issues, BDA. Go to the home page, and at the bottom you'll see the Father's Day survey, and we hope that you will take that. Again, thank you for being and watching Issues, and we will come back next week.
Thank you.